We want to encourage those who want to remain corrupt and steal money, that I beg them. The money should be used to bless our people. Thank you and God bless.
I've gotten information on projects that firstly were frozen. Now we've the American ambassador visited us last week Tuesday to give us updated information that I think we gave you a list of projects that have been gutted, meaning canceled. I think they have 7 thus far, and another 3 as we speak. Minister Zoe is sharing with me a text, a message that 3 more projects are being added as we speak. 51 million to be cancelled. So more projects are being cancelled. Things are fast evolving. The projects that are on this list, the previous list that was given to me by the ambassador, include the architecture, engineering, construction, oversight services for watch and health infrastructure, about 2.9 million. Community-led monitoring, this is 185,000. I think this was mainly passing through an NGO. So data evaluation, learning and technical assistance data, about 19 million. I think one of these projects, they will have helped us at the Ministry of Finance to improve our monitoring and evaluation of the arrest agenda. And then a project for education system strengthening in an amount of 23.4 million. Folks from the Ministry of Education can give you details on that. Elections and democracy, 15.9 million. Local empowerment for accountability and decentralization, LEAD. This is the project that Elon Musk texted about. The 17.9 million project. This project is helping us, or was helping us, in domestic resource mobilization. The Liberian Revenue Authority was the key beneficiary here. We are migrating to a new tax regime that has been approved by the Honorable Legislature, from the Goods and Services Tax, the GST, to the value-added tax, the VAT. It comes with training. It comes with investment in systems. USAID was the main partner supporting. In fact, we're about to conclude a new domestic resource mobilization strategy for the next 5 years. I think by the end of this month, we'll be done with that, completed. The review has been completed for cabinet approval. USAID was the lead partner supporting the Liberian Revenue Authority, even though we have a tax system called ETAS, Integrated Tax Administration System. It's the mean tax database that needed some technical improvement or investment targeted for that. This project was also to help us in domestic revenue or collection in counties, mapping up areas.
Well, fellow Liberians home and abroad, it's a privilege again for us to be here. We want to use this time to extend our thanks and appreciation to all of you that have joined us for our today's discussion. As usual, we ask that you do us a favor. And that favor that we require of you is to hit for us the share button. Share with friends, share with family members, so all of them know that we are here, that we can have a conversation within the next 1 hour, 30 minutes, or at most 2 hours. But I hope we can do it within 1 hour, 30 minutes because I'm very, very busy. A lot of things going on. But again, I want to inform you and ask that you always follow us on our page. On Friday is when we meet for our panel discussion. During the weekdays, like what I'm doing now, is just to keep our people informed relative to what is obtaining. But we ask that you always follow us, on Friday and every other day that you see us on. We also appeal that you hit the notification button so that each time we are on, you can, have the notification and then you can follow us. You don't necessarily have to agree with us. We respect your view, even if want to disagree, we respect that. But let's just be safer and let's control, the languages that we use on here because our children are watching. There are other people who are watching, and this platform is not meant to attract ignorant people. It's not meant to attract fools. This platform is where we come, we intellectually, disagree to agree. But again, we will not allow people using this platform as an insult base. So there are other areas where you can go to insult. That's good. That's fine for you. You can go there and insult. There are other people who are looking for the views. They are looking for the comments, and they will accept whatever garbage that people try to spew at. They will accept it, but not here. Here we do not accept it. So again, I want to say welcome to everybody. Welcome to everybody. I've been very busy for the past days. I have been very, 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 very busy. And I mean busy, I mean very, very busy. But again, I want to welcome all of you. So do us a favor, hit for us the share button, and let's have this conversation. There are a lot of things happening in Liberia, which is not actually pleasing. I always say to people, this generation of ours is a generation that will be uncompromising with people who think that they can siphon state resources, that they can abuse the rights of people and walk away with impunity. This generation is a generation that will not give peace to those who don't want to give our people peace. We're always saying it on this platform and we want to repeat. Those of you who have the privilege to work in this government, those of you who have been called to help in whatever way, form, shape, or manner in this government, remember that it is a privilege and not your right. You are given a responsibility to take care the lives of 5 point something million people lies in the decision that you will take. If you make or you take a decision that will affect and look at you and clap for you. Look, we have entered a dispensation where we will not be complacent. We will not just sit down and just talk. Our talking will accompany actions. Remember what I'm saying? Our talking will accompany actions. So Liberia is in a troubling times under this particular regime led by Joseph Numa Boyka. From the very first day that we got the information that Mr. Boyka was running as president or had a political ambition, we know that it was not a good sign for our peace, for our democracy, for the progress of Liberians, and for the unity of our country. We know that it wasn't a good sign. And we did not hesitate to tell our people. We did not mince our words to tell our people. Some people said we were foolish. Some said we were angry. Some said, what do you know about politics? Some asked us for our names. And when we call our names, they said, are you some of the people then that are supposed to talk in Liberian politics? But this is a dawning of a new day, where those of you who think that you can make our people uncomfortable and run to the Western world, we will also make you uncomfortable. We will take the fight to your doorsteps. Those of you who think that the power that you have been entrusted with is for you to plebunas, for you to be Santa Clausing around, for you to be going around and abusing that power, you will account for that power, that authority, that vote that was given to you. You will account for it. And we want to be very clear. If you think that you can cause Liberia to be in a chaotic situation, then you run away with you and your family and go sit down somewhere, you will bother with us. I repeat, if you think the power and the responsibility or authority that has been given to you is for you to use those authority to steal from our people and plunge our nation into chaos, and you think your family member, they get, how you call the thing, passport, they can travel with, we want to assure you that you and your family member, it shall not be where we are. We will cause noise behind you. There shall be noise. The revolution to cause noise behind people who are keeping our people under abject poverty has been launched, and we are taking it at your doorsteps. So, fellow Liberian, another embarrassing moment for us as a people, as a nation. As you may be aware, Helena Wilson, you are welcome. Sonnet Foster, thank you for joining us. We appreciate you. As you may be aware, when Mr. Weah assumed the presidency, his goal, his vision, his mission, his agenda is to make sure that the opposition is subdued and he has absolute power. In the mind of Mr. Weah, every other person to say yes sir to him, and any attempt by anybody not to say yes sir, he will do everything in his own power to ensure that he subject them to suffering, to poverty, to economic hardship, to political terrorism, for them to be able to succumb. So the first thing we saw when Mr. Weah took over was the gross disrespect to the Supreme Court. Why is it terrible and cause for the attention of every one of us? Like I always tell Liberians, the only place that you and I supposed to be equal, the only place that you and I we supposed to be protected, void of our political affiliation, void of our religion, void of how much we have, it should be in the court. Justice D. Boka, you are welcome. D. Hackness Tapet, thank you so much. Augustine N. Gay, you are welcome. Mulba Beza, we appreciate you. Thank you for joining us. Kabli, thank you so much, Sosa. We appreciate you. Thank you for joining us. We want to say hi to all of you. Ava JJ Peters, we want to say hi to all of you. So the only place that you and myself, we are supposed to have justice, void of our color, our tribe, our family background, is in the court of law. Because in the court, they do not look, the court is not supposed to be a place where they will look at your last name, where they will look at who is your father, where they will look at how much money you have in the bank account. But you know what they will be looking at? They will be looking at the facts. what they will be looking at. That's why when you look at the symbol of the court, the world over, you will see a lady with like a beam balance in her hand, or in her hand, and her eyes is blindfolded. You know why her eyes is blindfolded? You know why that beam balance in her hand? It's to tell you that in her dispense of justice, she does not see color. She does not see race. She does not see height. She does not see who is rich or who is poor. She dispenses justice based on the facts and the evidence that is induced before her. So when Mr. Backeus took over and launched an attack on the Supreme Court, but disrespecting the Supreme Court, it was where we know that Liberia was in a civil crisis, that the government have declared war on the Liberian people. Come on, let me answer this call quickly. I'm sorry. So the first place that Mr. Backeus waged war was on the Supreme Court that is supposed to protect all of us. When he went as far, a man who was part of the government, all of these tenure positions that you see around, Rutland E.N. Shelu, you are welcome. Johnny F. Willie, you are welcome. Joseph Colley, you are welcome. Sir Ali, you are welcome. Rich S. Momo, you are welcome. All of you are welcome. So at the end of the day, he waged war against the court, but disrespecting the institution that he himself set up. The tenure position was later set up by President Weah. The reason why the tenure position was set up by our international partners working along with Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf at that time was to ensure that we have check and balance, was to ensure that the executive does not just do anything or say anything and get away with it, but so that the government, even right from the executive, can be checkmated. That was the reason why all of this institution was established, to provide some level of check and balance. So Mr. Backeus is one of those who oversee the establishment of these various institutions. And these institutions were given tenure positions so that people who are in those positions can work freely, void of any political influence or of a political fear to say, well, if I not do the right thing, or if I'm doing the right thing, somebody will come and take me from here, so that they can be protected. That's why this institution was created, or they were created, sorry. And Mr. Backeus is one of those who put pen to paper to ensure that these institutions are established. But unfortunately, when Mr. Backeus took over as president, the first thing that we saw was a serious attack on those institutions. He went to the LTA. And when we said to the Liberian people that it was a bad sign, to some of our brothers, that it was a bad sign to have the president proceeding in that way, form and manner, it wasn't a good thing. Because this institution were not just set up because the people wanted to set it up. It took money. It took resources. It took people to come from all over the world to bring their ideas together to establish these institutions and make sure that they are independent of any other influence from anywhere. So the people who established those institutions help. They were watching, seeing Mr. Backeus doing his own thing. and they were just looking. You think they were happy? After spending millions of dollars to ensure that these institutions are established so that government can have check and balance, that Mr. Backeus was disrespecting, and you think they were happy? And when these people ran to the Supreme Court, guess what happened? When the Supreme Court gave its ruling, Mr. Backeus said, oh, so that what I want to do? Guess what he did? He thought it in his mind that I will strangulate the Supreme Court. He said he was going to strangulate the Supreme Court because in his mind, he felt that the Supreme Court did not agree with him. So he said, I will know what to do. I will strangulate them. And guess what he did? And that the executive can raise the money. So he decided that he will cut the budget of the court. Let me bring you the article here. Let me bring you the article. I'm giving you a history for us to reach to where we are reaching. Yeah. I have it right here. Just bear with me. It is reading fine. So let's bring it right here. Just bear with me. Let me just bring it right here. Okay, fine. I think we have it right here now. That's good. So here is the article. Here is the article. June 6, 2024. So when these people ran to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court told Mr. Backeus that Mr. Backeus, your proceeding is wrong. Guess what they did? The Supreme Court budget of $17 million that was proposed. Guess what Mr. Backeus did? Yeah. We hear you don't say look. The papa is wicked. The papa is wicked. He decided that okay, and you say you want 17 million, you will see what will happen. I will cut it down. I will cut that money down. And let's go ahead. Let's read before you think that what we are saying, we are just saying it because we want to say it. Instead of the $17 million that should have boosted the justice system, you know how much Mr. Backeus getting? He getting $2.8 million. He getting 28% of the budget allocation for judiciary. 28%. But let's read what we have here. I hope you are seeing it. Let's read what we have here. It's right here. Before you say, oh yeah, Prince saying his own thing. This was the 2024 budget. Monrovia. The Supreme Court has raised objection to the proposed 17 million and a one-off contingency amount of 3 million, constituting 2.8% of the 2024 national budget allocated to judiciary branch of government. The national highest court deemed the allocation of gross deemed the allocation as grossly inadequate, asserting that it could impede the judiciary capacity to function optimally. The judiciary, in a press release circulated on Wednesday, said the insufficiency of the current budget emphasizes its potential to hinder the judiciary ability to ensure fair, efficient, and timely delivery of justice. Their concerns centered around the essential resources required for the judiciary to operate effectively, raising questions about the adequacy of the proposed budget allocation. The statement signed by Councillor Darrell Ambrose Mann Sr., Director of Public Information Services, termed the allocation as an imposition by both the the legislative and executive branch of government on a co-equal branch of the same government, which is not prepared to accept, which it is not prepared to accept. According to Councillor Mann, whilst the Supreme Court acknowledge and uphold the power bestowed upon the legislature to make appropriation for physical governance of the Republic as enshrined in Article 334D of the Liberian Constitution, which is 1986, the court has also upheld the long-standing principles of constitutional interpretation, which states, in part, the Constitution must be interpreted in light of either document rather than the sequential pronouncement, as every provision of the Constitution is of equal importance. None of the provision of the Constitution shall be interpreted to nullify a substantially impaired and other provision. Darius Ambruma also added that it is within this legal context that Chapter 5 of the Liberia Constitution 1986 there's a notification, of 1986 and the supporting signature within the new judiciary law imposed a larger obligation upon the judiciary branch to effectively and efficiently manage the Supreme Court of Liberia and all of its administrative unit, 22 courts or 22 circuit courts across the 15 political subdivisions of this country, along with 8 judge and staff, 75 specialized courts across the 15 political subdivisions of this country, with their judges and staff, as well as 160 magisterial courts, also across 15 political subdivisions of this country, with their magistrates and staff, in order to ensure that the rule of law prevail within the borders of Liberia. The release further argued that the lack of adequate financial support to the judiciary by the national government over the years has resulted to deteriorating infrastructure, lack of logistics, and worsening condition of service at the judiciary. He added it is subsequently impairing the duty of the judiciary branch of government as mandated by the law. Provision of Chapter 6 of the Liberia Constitution 1986 refer to SOPRA. The judiciary viewed the allocation of 17 million and a one-off contingency amount of 3 million, constituting 2.8 of the national budget, as an imposition by both the legislature and the executive. Okay, we're just going to stop here because we don't have the time to go all the way in there. But basically, my people, after the Supreme Court gave her ruling about what happened, especially with those who were illegally dismissed from any position, Mr. Boyka got angry and said that they were going to reduce the amount that was allocated to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court said this is going to impede the function of the rule of law in Liberia. Mr. Boyka didn't give a hang about what they were saying. For him, in as much as they made him feel bad, or in as much as they interpret the law how it's supposed to be, he will strangulate them. And guess what happened? He decided that whatever that happened, he will not even give them ears. So we saw these people who were illegally dismissed running to the Supreme Court. Unfortunately, after the Supreme Court ruling, Mr. Boyka spit in the faces of these judges and said, I will not listen to you. So Mr. Boyka has been doing everything to ensure that the Supreme Court is under his wing. Whatever he says must be the final. And because the Supreme Court is not taking that route, Guess what happened? Mr. Backeus is not happy with them. While it is true that there are three branches that are equal, but they have landed the the judiciary branch, and is the legislative branch and that of the executive. They are the one getting the plenty of money. Mr. Backeus did not stop there. Judging from the leadership of the house, the lower house, the House of Rep, he said, since I know that I can subdue the court to listening to me, let me go to the house. We saw what happened during the election of the lower house, where Mr. Richie Kun was heavily supported financially by Mr. Backeus or this regime, because Richie Kun said that regime, the regime of Backeus. And at the end of the day, they went to this particular election, and guess what? Richie Kun was defeated. Mr. Backeus was defeated. Because Mr. Backeus wants to have his will to control the other branches of government, he decided that he will wage a war. That it's not going to be over, that there shall be war. And he started his negative propaganda against Councillor J. Fonati Kofa, an opposition speaker who collaborated with him, who worked along with Mr. Backeus. Mr. Fonati Kofa, or Speaker Fonati Kofa, sorry, is one of the most considerate as far as our political atmosphere is concerned, and cooperative opposition speaker. He worked along with Mr. Backeus to the extent that at a certain point in time, Speaker J. Fonati Kofa defended the government and said some of the things that he said in defense of the executive branch. There were some of our people who were even mad and said, Mr. Kofa, you are not the spokesperson of the executive branch. No need for you to do that. Don't do it. But because he wanted that cohesion for the government to run adequately and properly, so that there cannot be hauling and pulling and fighting, because at the end of the day, when there is a stalemate, or when there is problems between the executive and that of the legislative branch, we feed it. It will not be the two people, but it will be the common marketeers. They're the one who feed the weight. It will be the man who is on the sidewalk today as, pimping a rider. He the one who feed the weight. So Honorable Fonati Kofa tried to work with Mr. Backeus to ensure that we can move on a smooth path. But later did he know that Mr. Backeus was not the kind of person that when he says he want to do something, he will do it. And any attempt to stall his effort is when he re-energizes himself in a negative energy to fight against it. So all through while he and Fonati Kofa were passing, talking, this, that, he has been looking at Fonati Kofa as somebody who has stored his will over the legislative branch, even though it was not that. So Mr. Backeus jumped on and said, well, I know what to do. Let's go for a visit. Honorable Fonati Kofa was here in the States. And from here, he followed Mr. Backeus to the Vatican. While they were there, Mr. Backeus put Jeremiah Kun and other people on the line and said, this is the right time for you guys to do what you are supposed to do. Let us unseat Kofa while he is absent. Imagine while the man is sitting with you, you're going from one area to the other. You guys are discussing. He is defending your agenda. You are plotting behind him to remove him. And as you may know, in the house there are laws and order. That's why when I hear people saying, oh, that house there is about number, it's not about the rule of law, it makes me to become sick. People who are making laws are telling you that the thing what we do here is not based on law, it's based on number. You must know how sick these people are. I agree, the number is important. But before the number, you must be able to use the law to prove to the people that this is what the law say. And so because of what the law is saying, there's a need for us to get the number. It is not just number. But unfortunately, these guys have said to the Liberian people that it's about number, it's not about law. So they decided that few and four of them call themselves majority. They will go on one side and plot against the legitimate speaker. You know, what was terrible when all these things were happening is that the international people that spend millions of dollars to ensure that the governance system of our country is strong and is healthy, they were just watching, they were observing, and they were looking. The people who laid down their lives, the people who were able to help us to set up the governance structure of Liberia after we went to, supposed to say 14 years, but more than 14 years of civil war, and we broke down every system. The people who helped us to put it together, they were observing, they were watching Mr. Backeus doing all of these things. They fold their arms and we're just looking. And at the end of the day, we saw what happened. Mr. Backeus heavily supported Richard Cohn and few others, to the extent that these people were moving around with monies, bribing people. But as God could have it, because you see, God don't like ugly. Guess what happened? They could not reach the number that is required by law to remove Speaker Kofa. They could not. So when Backeus came, everybody thought that as an elder in the house, as an old man, and being the head of government, because look, whether we like it or not, Mr. Backeus is the head of the government of the Republic of Liberia. He is the head. He is the representation of the embodiment of the Liberian government. So everybody thought that Mr. Backeus was going to come and say, no, we can continue on this route. But guess what happened? When Backeus came, Backeus decided to take side. To the extent that it was Backeus who ordered his officials to go to the illegal, how you call guys, the illegal majority, so quote unquote majority, to go and answer to them. We saw Mo Ali going there. We saw Mo Ali going to the so-called lawless majority. We saw Selitalo, transport minister, going to the so-called lawless majority black. We saw Bill McGay Jones for the budget hearing going to the so-called lawless majority black. Do you think that these guys attended those hearings in the absence of Mr. Backeus' approval? Do you think so? No. Everything that they were doing, it was approved by Mr. Backeus. But you know, I want to say thanks to the Liberian people, not even to Fonati Kofa, but to say thanks to the Liberian people. Look, we must take an approach to prove to people who we gave power to that we don't want to get the power. We can make them uncomfortable anytime we feel like, when they are not behaving in line with what the Constitution says. The power belongs to us. We just took it and gave it to them to manage it. That way, anytime we can take it from them. Why do you think elections are held? Even before elections, the Constitution provides that we, the people, we can come together and remove them. So we just took our power and gave it to them and say, hey, you're managing for us. So when we see them abusing and misusing it, it is our right to checkmate them and call them and say, hey, you come to yourself. So at the end of the day, Mr. Backeus used his money to the extent that he used everything to subdue Honorable Fonati Kofa and the Liberian people. But you know, Liberia is becoming an interesting country by the day. Our people are gradually waking up to the reality. They are getting to know what is obtaining. They are getting to realize that government is working in their interest. And that's why you see some of us, we are energized whenever we come on here to do what we are doing. You know why? Because every time we come here, we are educating our people. We are educating our people. We are educating our people. Everyone that tune in to some level, they have been educated. And that's why we are excited. That's why we are energized. That's why even in the absence of whatever, financial or whatever, we continue to do this thing with pride and dignity because it's our passion. We see it as a job. I always tell people, this thing is my job. That job I'm doing here, so the same way I can go to work in the United States so that I can cater to my family, that the same job I'm doing here, so that's why I'm not tired. I see it as a responsibility. That's why I am energized. And I want to say thanks to all of you who continue to support us. Gonga no Miles, you are welcome. Kiata Weah, you are welcome. So at the end of the day, no, what I'm trying to do is I want to bring you up to speed to why this government is proceeding the way it is proceeding and why it will not succeed. So when you come to class, you listen. Eh? When you come to class, you listen. So at the end of the day, we saw what happened. Mr. Backeus, who played his game and stuff like that, the Liberian people said no. They will not allow Backeus to have his will. Backeus will not be the odious dictator in our country for us to sit down and allow it. And the Liberian people opposed it, giving Honorable Fonati Kofa the strength to not succumb to the pressure of Joseph Numa Backeus. And he stood his ground. He stood his ground because he was energized by the Liberian people. So they decided that everything that was done legally, that they want to cancel it. Everything that has the face of Fonati Kofa, that they must cancel it. So guess what happened? Since they were fighting Fonati Kofa, Joseph Numa Backeus told them that, you know what? In order to be able to make Fonati Kofa or to invalidate his authority, all the people who election was held for and they were sent at ECOWAS, you recall all of them. That is one way to be able to break him down. You recall them. He asked that the security that were assigned with Honorable Fonati Kofa, they withdrew the security detail from Honorable Fonati Kofa. They used people to threaten him. But because he had the blessings of the Liberian people and the Liberian people said, we stand behind you, Fonati Kofa held on and say, I have the blessing of the Liberian people. So with everything that Mr. Backeus did, the most disgraceful part, that's why I gave you the history. Now I'm coming there. Mr. Backeus, after the international community spend their money, their time, their effort, and resources, seeing what is happening, they decided that, especially ECOWAS, that enough is enough. So they sent a communication, and here is the communication that we're going to talk about. They sent this communication. Mr. Backeus sent this communication. Here's the communication that Mr. Backeus sent. He sent this communication to ECOWAS. I know somebody will say, oh, you know the thing, not ECOWAS thing. The thing, not ECOWAS thing. There's the communication that they sent to ECOWAS. Or the government, I'm sorry, the one the government of Liberia sent to ECOWAS. Let me get it. There's the reply that ECOWAS gave them. Sorry, there's the reply from ECOWAS. So they sent a communication to ECOWAS asking that those people who were duly elected and sent to ECOWAS that they must leave from there. Rachel Kun said he recalling them. They're not supposed to be there. And this is the response of ECOWAS to Major Sion, the chief clerk. This is the response of ECOWAS to her. And let's see if we can just go through it quickly. And we'll discuss this. There's the main thing that I want to discuss. We just gave you the history to tell you how Mr. Boyka has disrespected the rule of law, including the international people who helped him when he was vice president for 12 years. So it says, response to the request for recall of 3 members of the Liberian delegation to the ECOWAS Parliament. Dear Chief Clerk, I acknowledge receipt of your letter dated February 25th, 2025, regarding the recall of 3 members designated by the House of Representatives of Liberia to serve in the ECOWAS Parliament. Following a thorough review of your request, I wish to inform you of the following. In accordance with Article 18.1-2 of the Supplementary Act of the Enhancement of the Powers of ECOWAS Parliament, the mandate of the community parliamentarians is set for a fixed term of 4 years. Once designated and sworn in, members cannot be removed or replaced before the expiration of their term, except in the following case: non-re-election of the members of the national level, death, resignation through written notification to the president of ECOWAS Parliament, satisfy mental or physical incapacity to perform duties, resignation due to incapability, dismissal by the parliament for misconduct as provided in the rule of law procedure of the ECOWAS Parliament. The honorable members Samuel Arrow Indes Sr., Mema Briggs Mensah, and Tazer Wongbe do not fall under any of the aforementioned circumstances. Therefore, this is the place that will come in. Therefore, if you are seeing it from your area there, therefore, do not fall under, therefore, their replacement cannot be effected. Consequently, the honorable member of the ECOWAS Parliament will continue to serve their mandate until its expiration, in line with the international commitment of the Republic of Liberia. I remains at your disposal for any further clarification and assure you, Mr. Chief Clerk, of my highest esteem. Best regard, blah, 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 blah. Acting Secretary General, blah, blah, blah. You know what this means to Joseph Newman Boyka? It is a blow in his face. You know what they sent out? It sent out a signal that the international community will not condone the reckless behavior of Mr. Boyka. You know what they sent out to us as Liberians? That we are in a state of civil unrest. And this particular war has been waged by Mr. Boyka and few of his cronies. That's what it means. For ECOWAS to send you this kind of communication is an indication that, my brother, since you owe and don't know how to proceed, for us, we will not join you in destroying our community. ECOWAS does not support anything that has to do with an unconstitutional maneuvering. Joseph Newman Boyka behaving like he is not even understanding what is happening in the current. He thinks he's still living in the 50s. ECOWAS told those of our other sisterly nation that did not go through the rightful process of election, they condemn it. For example, look at Guinea. They condemn the government in Guinea, how they are proceeding, and call for them to be able to return to what we call a democratic leadership. Name the country. You're talking about Burkina Faso with all the good things that you will say about Tuareg. But ECOWAS, the AU, and all of these international, organization condemn what is happening there because in their mind, it did not follow the legal process, so they condemn it. Look at what is happening around Africa. ECOWAS, the AU, and all of these international organizations condemn it. You know why they condemn it? Because they don't want for these things to continue. Because if it continues, guess what happens? It will affect other nations. So while ECOWAS is condemning other people for behaving in a way that is unorthodox, like hooligans, Mr. Backeus decided that he will be the only gangster on the block. And this is an insult to Mr. Backeus. Not only to Mr. Backeus, but to you and myself as Liberians. It's an insult to us. Imagine a nation that championed the cause of the freedom of almost all of those nations that are represented at ECOWAS. Today, ECOWAS is scorning you. They are checkmating you. They are telling you that you are proceeding wrongly. They are refusing that Backeus sent this communication. Mr. Backeus is aware of it. You see, when you start to proceed like this, and international people start to, to scorn you, they start to rebuke you, they start to refuse your communication. You know what signal is sent? That Liberia is an unfertile soil for any serious investor. That Liberia is not ready yet under this government. Some of you don't know, but I mean hardcore investors, people who want to invest, I'm talking about pepper and chicken soup investors, but people who really want to invest good money. You know what they look at? You know the people that they can listen to? You know the places that they can put their ears? You know what they want to hear? They want to hear from some of these international platforms what they think about your country, what they feel about your country. So these investors listening to ECOWAS and seeing how Backeus is proceeding, ECOWAS sent a delegate to Liberia to tell Mr. Backeus that Mr. Backeus, the way you proceeding is not correct. Guess what happened? Mr. Backeus gave them his middle fingers. These people spend their time, their effort, their resources to go to Liberia to warn you, Mr. Backeus, of the shame today that you are faced with. And say, Mr. Backeus, this is not how it's supposed to be. Because you felt that you are an old man who your will should be your will, your A should be your A, and your B should be your B. You did not even listen to them. You disrespected them. Forgetting to know that it was because of this same ECOWAS that you became vice president of Liberia. It was because of this same ECOWAS that you became president, but you choose to disrespect them. You choose to abuse them. You choose to insult them. Mr. Backeus is a classic example of biting the hands or the fingers that feed you. Mr. Backeus is the classic example of you sitting on the wings of the eagle and telling it that the arm is smelling or the odor that is oozing from the eagle is terrible. Mr. Backeus is that classic example. The people who make you to be who you are today as president, as vice president, you disrespecting them. Like my brother Frederick Tinisi is saying, lawless. You are displaying lawlessness and think that they will be able to welcome you, that they will put down red carpet for you. Backeus is a disgrace. This man recently went for a meeting in Addis Ababa. You would think that this man, from all indication, he's supposed to come with a renewed energy to foster peace in Liberia. But when you have somebody that is absent-minded, you see, Joseph Newman Backeus was a laughing stock when he went to that ECOWAS meeting. Because all men are looking at him, he said, look at the one who disrespecting your own law in your own country, disrespecting your people. So why are you coming here for? Why you can tell us? Why you are here to tell us? It's a shame. So this communication from ECOWAS proved that Liberia, under Joseph Newman Backeus, is on its own. In the words of Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, you are on your own because you don't disrespect the people who laid their lives down for the peace we are enjoying today. God first. You don't disrespect the people who spend their physical cash to conduct the first election that make you, Joseph Newman Backeus, to be vice president. I'm not looking at Rachel Kuhn. Rachel Kuhn is just one idiot who is insignificant that I'm not looking at. Rachel Kuhn does not have a will of his own. No. Rachel Kuhn is behaving the way he is behaving because he is backed by Mr. Backeus. Because Mr. Backeus is giving him the leverage. Mr. Backeus is giving him that podium to disrespect. So the communication that we see going out is not from these majority nonsense, lawless lawmakers. No, it's not from them. Not from people that follow family there. Leave these idiots. Leave these opportunists who the Liberian people who are very magnanimous can always give people opportunity. So leave them. It's not from them. It's from Mr. Backeus. This was a test of the international commitment to ensure that the rule of law is respected. And Mr. Backeus ran there with communication. It's a slap in the face of the government. This put the government on a terrible path. Look, this communication, it puts the government on a very terrible path on the international scene. Because this communication is not just being discussed by you and myself. We are posting it. But you know what the people are saying about it? You know what they are saying about it? That Backeus have shown that for him, he does not respect the rule of law. The rule of law is something that he don't give credence to. Like my brother Fedjo Tinisi Nimla is saying, lawless old man, the odious gangster that have taken power, doing his own thing. It's a shame. It's a shame. My people, I saw something and I am like, are these guys serious? I saw a post from Daniel Sando, the man who is supposed to be, let me show you, the deputy minister. Now you can see why this government will not succeed, right? Let me just bear with me. You can see why this government will not succeed. You can see why this government is just acting in error and everybody doing their own thing. Information is just like a crap. This government. Let's just bear with me. So I saw this communication, right? Courtesy of DN News. Let me just bring it right here. You see here? Look at this communication. This communication from Daniel Osando, the Deputy Information Minister. This is a disgrace for this man to even serve as Deputy Information Minister, that he cannot do small research. Small kinikini research in our Liberian language, our people will say, that he cannot even do small research. So Daniel Sando posted this information on his page saying that me, Prince Sheriff, I work at LPRC, I was dismissed for stealing fuel. Few that I was dismissed. I laugh and I said, wow, this is how terrible these idiots are. This is how they lie on people. This is how they lie on members that were working in the government under His Excellency President Dr. George Weah. Thank God that someone has the platform. So this idiot who is very unsophisticated, who is very lazy in this modern day age and time, that just a research, just a phone call will prove whether this person is there or that person is not there. Daniel Sando, this is just prove how inept the government is. That Deputy Information Minister writing this nonsense about me, saying I used to work at LPRC, I stole fuel, and the people dismissed me. And he said they bono me. So you write in Liberia. How long does it take you to just send a text message to Amos at the LPRC, or to send a message to the Human Resource Department to ask them, had there been any point in time that somebody by the name of Prince Sheriff work in that place? You see how poor these people are? You see how unsophisticated this government is? This is the Deputy Information Minister. And he the one writing this kind of nonsense. That cannot even do adequate. That one ain't even call for any kind of, just call the Human Resource Officer. Was there any point in time that you have somebody like Prince Sheriff working in this entity? As just simple as it is. And you telling me I'm working at LPRC. You see how these people can lie? You see how they lie on innocent people? And you see some of the lies? You see how they lie on innocent people, right? And some of these people that they lied on, unfortunately, these people were victimized. They were victimized. These people were victimized. Some of the people that they lied on, they were victimized. You know, some of my students call me, right? In fact, it was my students that were even defending me. Some of my students, all my colleagues. When I print, I will know. Who told you that print work in your government? You see anywhere you see me working in government, Madam Ellen Johnson's elite government. Let's start from how you call himself, Judy Bryan government, to Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, to President Weah. See anywhere you see my name as government official. See anywhere that you see my name as government official. But this man is able to write this kind of terrible lies. This is how people like Jeru Verdia sat down on spoon and lied about innocent Jefferson Tamakoji. They say how Tamakoji got army, he get people, they get the other one, they get the other one. He saw the man, that the man did this, the man did that. And today, Jefferson Tamakoji is a victim. You know, when I saw this nonsense, right? One of my colleagues, who all of us used to work, at a particular area. So the guy asked, the guy said, Prince, I've been knowing you for a very long time. When last did you go to work in the government? When last? I mean, the guy said, when last you went to work in the government? There's somebody that will work together. I can say almost the 6 years, because now he works somewhere else. The 6 years of the Weah-led administration, we're working together. He is not even a Liberian. So he said, Prince, I know all throughout you've been here, because he followed me on Facebook. He's a Nigerian and very interesting, in the African politics. He followed most of us and stuff like that. So he said, "Oh boy, easy. Oh. When did you work in your own government? Were you working?" I said, "But chief, and you and I were assigned to so many areas, and we used to move from here, go here, there. Was there any point in time that I left job for even 2 or 3 months when President Weah was in office? So how would somebody be working then here? He's asked to still feel oil. I'm looking at somebody who can steal. My family history does not have that thing called stealing inside. We are not rich, we are not poor. But when it comes to character, we are millionaires. We are not rich in terms of finance, and we are not poor. But when it comes to character, we are exceptional. That I can say. So Daniel Sando refused to do small research. Now the kind of people you're paying, you're called them deputy minister or other thing. The kind of idiot then you're called deputy minister. People who can do small research to find out. So I want to send this out to Daniel Sando and his scalawags. I want to challenge them. If there is any record of a Prince Sheriff working in government in the Weah-led administration, let me just be specific, or just start from 2005. From 2005 to current, if you have any record of me working in government, you see my employment, see the salary that I take or that I used to take, I will never appear on this platform again. I will never. I mean, from 2005 all the way to the end of the term of President Weah first term. If you see any record of Prince Sheriff working in government, I will not even appear here. I will do an open letter extending apology to Daniel Sando and one other one who is a murderer, Queen Johnson. I dealt with that one, she blocked me. But I can still deal with her. Hey, look at how I laugh. I can still go there and deal with her. These are people that cannot withstand the truth. Oh, quick, they block you. Quick, they block you. They are quick to block you. They do not have the energy to confront you in a civil discussion. When you go under their posts and try to highlight their excesses, they feel uncomfortable, very uncomfortable. And the next thing you go low, bam, they block you. For me, I will not insult. All throughout we were here. So at the end, you can see how these guys lie. These are just some of the lies that they send out against innocent people in the CDC-led government. All the people that are criminal, all the people that are, and people maybe who do not have other people to speak on their behalf, it happened to them. That's why some of us said some of these sanctions that were placed on some of these officials, they are political. Look at people like, how you call herself, this girl, Justina Taylor. Justina Taylor lied with both face. They girl were on the internet saying, oh, Jefferson Tamakoji, that bomb assassin. These are how these people lied on people. These are how they lie on people. And at the end of the day, because maybe the voices of these people were not, I don't know, strong enough or whatever, guess what happened? They were victim. Let me get this here. Let me see. Okay, fine. Here is it. Here, Justina Taylor. Today, where is Justina Taylor? Let me just play this. Today, where is Justina Taylor? Where is Justina Taylor? She got her job now. Yes, Justina Taylor. Let's just play. This is how they lie on people. This is how they lie on people. Yeah, Justina Taylor. Let me play a few of this. Listening to her. So according to Justina, they get claimed, they know where all the why is it they have not discovered the bomb here now, and this gone. You see how people like Justina Taylor was used? People like Justina Taylor, they were used to lie against people. Blatant lie. They lie without any mercy against other innocent people. Listen to this girl. Sorry for the language, very far. So you see there, I just play you a few bars of this. I'm going to take it out. You see how these people lied on people. Oh, the sound is not, the sound should be on. The sound is on. So at the end of the day, people like Justina Taylor, they lie on people like Jefferson Tamakoji, lie on innocent people. And because the United States, there are individuals here who also have political interests. They have political interests. So these people, they were able to find their way. They were able to find their way. It is unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate. Like Justina Taylor there, all the lies that they told, today where are they? No, today where are they? All the lies that they told, today where are they? Justina Taylor now is almost like, you know, let me take time. A woman, I will not deal with her too much. I will take time with her. Today she has become a laughing stock. The woman who says you are going to break the internet. No, where are they? Today you can't see them. Or do they have the job? Where is Justina Taylor? And she said our uncle government. She was deputy spokesperson, but now she should be in Liberia now. No, President Weah is not there. You say, oh, President Weah running behind you. You are doing this, you are doing that. Jefferson Tamakoji, you are running behind you. Today, uncle there. Go there now. Go there and go get a job. Let them get you a job. After using you. After using you. Now you have become a clown. You are now on gossip show. I told people, I said, I can't, somebody, oh, I told him, I said, man, let that gossip thing. I think it could be the Liberian gossip thing that, the industry is big. So other people doing that thing. Because when I do that thing, somebody will do something to themselves. Because when I'm going behind you to take the information, I will go right behind you and take the information from there. Some of the information that you are saying you even know or you want to count us, I will go there and I will take it. Because we know how to do it. It's what we do. It's our job. We will do it. So I let to put my hand inside. I see it, I pass by my way. What I want to, I talk on the surface. I don't want to talk in, I forget about it. Because if we decide to talk, the way some of these people they will come and malign people character, insult people, children. You see me, I take my hand from inside. Because when you threaten my family, it's on no boundary. I go for you physically. I take you down. I will be the first. As soon as you make any threat, I will be the first to take you down. You know, I'm going to give you this example. Somebody inboxed me one time. I did a post against, uh, you know, against the way things were happening. An individual who were, doing all kind of things, or talking about the Joseph Numa Boyka government, how Joseph Numa Boyka when he was 12 years in power, what he did, blah blah blah. So an individual inboxed me and they threatened me, say you must never come to this place. The day you come, it will not be easy. You in America, you're making sharp more. The day you come here, you will not even know, blah 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 blah. So I kept that text and I choose to go to Facebook to find out who that person was. And as God could have it, I was able to research. I saw him, being a friend with some other people who I know. So I did my own work. I tested these people, this person. Luckily for me, somebody amongst his friends, I have that kind of relationship with that person. So the person said, oh, but I know this person. Tell me where he is. Say, oh, but now he's not here. He working with, how you call these people, say, metal steel, the metal steel in Nimba, yeah. He working with them, so he's not here now, he's in Nimba. So I said, okay. Thank you for giving me the information. And in fact, it's like the name that he was using was not his. So the person gave me his name and everything. I said, okay. And that person said, when I go to Liberia, you will do what you do. So when I went to Liberia, I went in Nimba. When I went in Nimba, I asked for him. And somebody said, oh, I know him. So I told him, I said, I beg you, man, just tell the person someone is here to see him. So the guy said, but I can carry it there. I know the man. In fact, my brother also worked there. So he and my brother, they live in to the same area there in the scene. I said, okay, but no problem, let's go. I got on the bike and I went there. When I went there, we sat down. I spoke to him. Luckily, he was just from work. So I said, man, let's go somewhere and go sunny. He didn't even know me. I mean, the way I was, he could not even recognize me. So, oh, man, I said, no, man, I hear so many things, good thing about you, blah, 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 and stuff like that, So we're saying that in a place. Then I brought up a conversation, which I'm not going to be very exact. I said, man, you know Prince? Yeah, I mean, he talked plenty. I have it as a recording. We even took picture here and there. So when he got through explaining how you would do that, you would do that, blah, 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 blah. So I said, my man, the man yell. The man say yell. So when you see, I know you'll do that. He said, want to see that man? I'll put 30 in your ear. You say now in America there, they eating 3 times a day. Ready, they talking nonsense, blah, 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 blah. Our unity party man. So when he got through talking, I really wanted to bring out the anger in him. And when he got through talking, I told him, I said, my man, I'm in here. A Prince here. I took up my phone. I Google that particular, because what I did, sorry, not Google it. I showing the screenshot. I kept it. I took my phone, I gave it to him, I say, and now you made a comment here. Look, you could see the guy entire morphology, it changed. The guy entire morphology changed. He said, what are you? I said, I'm here. I took out my voter registration card and showed it to him. I said, you see the name here? You see here? And he laughed. He said, hey, technology. And I just had another topic there. He swept it away. He said, oh, my man, we are one man, we are brother, blah, 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 and other things. The time I was in Nimba, all the time that I spent in Nimba, you know what he said? He have a motorbike. He told a late brother, he said, my man, let me give you the man number. Anywhere you want to go, just call my picking. Say my picking will carry you there free. I rode with the picking 2 times. When I was going to Ganta, how you call Guinea border, I want to go and see somebody somewhere around there. He carried me. 2 times I rode with he Peking. Now Jerry Peking are running his bag for him. They are not related according to him. So you see, some of these people will use you to say nonsense. At the end of the day, that's why when we're in Liberia, I'm just common person. I ain't work with nobody. I move. Even right now, don't worry. The next time you will see me in Liberia, you will see me in Liberia. You will see what I'll be doing. I will not tell you, but you will see. So at the end of the day, these people use other people to just lie on other people. They lie on you, and bam, the reality show face. They cannot prove it. But it's a disgrace, basically, what we are saying to this government. No, things are not working well for this government because of their behavior. Because the people who help you to set up the institution for you that you call government, you are disrespecting them. You are fighting the institution. You want to bring it down. But fellow Liberians, I will tell you tomorrow why we did what we did. That story is going to be tomorrow. Join us tomorrow as we explain of what transpired in Philadelphia. Time have caught up with us. We gotta go. You hear sound from the back of my phone ringing. I gotta go to my other hustle area. So tomorrow we will be here. I want to encourage you to like the page, to share the page, and let's have a wonderful time. Like the page, share the page, and let's have a very, very wonderful time. Eh? A very wonderful time. You can follow us on YouTube. Follow us on YouTube if you care. And let's just, get ready. And tomorrow, I will give you an analysis of how we are going to proceed with this government here in the US. How we are going to proceed. So don't forget to join us tomorrow as we give you an analysis of what transpired in PA. Again, I want to thank you. Time have caught up with us. Until we meet again, listening to Justina lying here on Jefferson Tambakoji. And what these people, they will continue to live in pain. Oh, okay, so no sound. Okay, let me do something here. Just bear with me. Okay, I'm going to move this from here. Okay, but time have caught up with me. So I want to thank each and every one of you for the time. Until we meet again, Have yourself a God bless day. The page is under the Palava Hut. Like, share, and follow the page. You know, like, share, and follow the page. And let's interact. Let's interact. I know some people is you know is very very disturbing when they hear the truth. Yeah, but again, we don't care about you. What we care about is to do what is right, and what is right is what we will continue to do. So again, we want to say, hit the share button, share with friends, share with family members, and you know, let's continue to interact. Until we meet again, my people, time is of essence. Join me tomorrow as I explain what happened in PA. And I want to say thanks to the team that did exceptionally well there in PA. Bye to all of you and have yourself a wonderful day. Bye.
We want to encourage those who want to remain corrupt and steal money that I beg them. The money should be used to bless our people. Thank you and God bless.